All right, so with that, okay, with that, you guys have any question from the homework? I think I give you some of these things about idafa. Any question about idafa? So, okay, any question from here? Let's do. I'm gonna skip this part. We'll do this one, and let's see. We'll do this one, and so it will be a nice review. So, what does it say? It says we have something a blank and say al bayti mughlaq. Mughlaq we should know, right? Mughlaq is closed, okay, and bait is the house. So here you can. I'm just going to do a couple of them. Here, anybody have anyone has any answer? Do you know what to put? Because this is idafa, right? So you need the first part, which is mudaf. We need the first part of the idafa because you can see the kasra and alif lam. So you know this is the second part of idafa, and they're telling you to put the idafa, right? So what would you say? So right now we have close and we have the house, right? So anyone um, did this one? So think about off. Okay, think of off. Something of the house is closed. So what of the house is closed? Alba, good. Yes. And okay. Yes. So Faria, you're right. If I read al-bab, okay, then we have a problem because what did we say the first part of idafa? First part of idafa is never take a alif lam. That means it's always like in the form of indefinite, right? So you're good. It's going to be babu. And Sister Sultan is right. It will be babu. Okay. Okay. So the door of, and you translate, even though it looks like indefinite, you still translate the door of. Okay. The door of the house is closed. Okay, so this rule you have to know. The idah for the first part, it will never, ever, ever, ever. This is one of the rule, and like I take pride when I tell you this is a golden rule, because in Arabic there's not many of them. So one of the golden rule is in idah for the first part, because you have a two part, right? The first part and the second part. The first part will never be, never take alif lam, okay, and it will never have tanween, okay. Yes, that's the thing. Invisible the, yes, yes. This is you're right. It can, because the way they look at it, they look at, I told you, idafa actually makes into one word. They look at this as a one word. Now the whole word they say is definite. Anyway, yes. Okay, let's do a few of them. What do you think we can do here? So aina is where, right? I'll just do one more, three of them from here, and then we'll do the next one. And the sayyara is, the car, right? Sayyara is the car. Now again, we have, alif lam and kasra, and in this exercise about idafa, so we have to put the first part of idafa. So where blank the car. So where something of the car. So what do you think we should put here? And they will be asking you to put the vocabularies that we studied in this book. Okay, so you should be able to use any of those vocabularies. So blank of the car. You're looking for where is the what of the car. You can what do you think? Okay, let's say if we're looking for key. So how do you say key in Arabic? Okay, yes, it's the kasra, so it will be miftah, kasra, uh, miftah. Okay, so miftahun is a key. So what goes here? Yes, good, good. So you guys getting that part? Miftahu. Okay. Okay. So I cannot have tanween and I cannot have alif lam. Idafa, first one, I cannot have tanween. I cannot have alif lam. Okay. If you want me to review these rules one more time today, inshallah, I don't have a problem. I can review them. Okay. But let's see if by going through a few of them, if that review is enough or not. Okay. This one is super, super simple. Let's do this one. Super easy. Okay. So the Al-Qur'anu, what is Al-Qur'an? Al-Qur'an is, of course, the Qur'an. Kitab, kitab is what? Book. Now, it's going to be book of, so I need to know what goes here, and I need to know what goes here. So first, let's fill this one up. The Quran is book of, book of who? Super easy. Yes. So now give me, yes, good. Yeah, if you know how to say knowledge in Arabic, then give it to me. No, that's fine. No, knowledge is fine, which is true. Quran is book of knowledge, but yes, Allahi. Yeah, Faria, you're right. I can write what you're saying, but I don't know if you know the word for knowledge. Allahi. And what goes here? Kitabu. Yes, yes. Okay. You guys are getting it. You guys are definitely getting it. At this point, believe it or not, if I'm gonna inshallah review the idafa one more time, just quick review, very, very quick review. But see, a lot of this thing is just use, and you cannot avoid idafa. Idafa is one of the fundamental to the language. Is no way you can avoid them. It's just coming left and right. You know, it's just unbelievable how often we use idafa in Arabic language. Okay, so this thing will be coming. So even if you go to next chapter, you will see these concepts is there. So if you want to say, if you knew, you're right, I could say this. Ilm. Al-Qur'anu kitabul ilm. Okay, the book of knowledge, book of the knowledge. Okay, so you're right if you knew how to say it. That's good. Jayed. So I think I'll leave it at that. If you have any other question from this exercise, you can let me know. If not, I'll just move on to the next one. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This one will help you review all the rules that we know. So let's do at least 5 of them from here. Okay. Bismillah. So start with this one, number 1. So what is missing? Or what's they're saying is sahih, means correct. There's something mistake in here, correct, whatever is coming. So they give you idafa, you know, and there's some mistake. So how do you fix this mistake? So how would you fix this one? What's the mistake here? So look at this one. So what's wrong with the first word? Because every idafa needs 2 words. So let's look at the first word first, then we'll tackle the second word. Is there anything wrong with the first word? Yes. By the way, you guys should know how to read this one, right? Hal, qala. They're not even writing anything, but you know. Okay, so al is the problem, right? You're saying al is the problem. Okay, good. So whatever the second one, and they didn't put anything, but I just give you the answer. Right? Whatever the second one is good or bad? Second one is boo. Okay, I have one. Second one is good, and what's it? Okay, let's see. So someone told me to remove the alif lam. I removed the alif lam. Qala, mu, then up. Sorry, it's not talib. 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 Now what goes here? Sister Uzma, what goes at the end, the second word of the idafa? What harakat? What is the vowel? Always. This is another golden rule. Yes, always with kasra. Okay. Second one is always kasra. Okay. So the first one. Okay. So let's do a few of them, and then inshallah I'm gonna go back to the rule again, because if I'm see right now we're reviewing the rule as well, right? So the second one is always kasra. Always. Means genitive, like some words cannot take kasra, but you know that's not what we're tackling right now. Just for easier purpose, I'm saying it like that. The second word is always kasra, and the first one is, as we talked about, never takes alif lam, and it never takes tanween. Okay, so let's do one more. We'll do a few more. Okay, so what about this one? Okay, this one. What do you think? You can give me the whole, or at least tell me where the mistake first. Is there any mistake in the first part? Look at the first part first. Is there any mistake? Yes, no? Okay, good. Yes, Sister Faria got this. The first one is good. Yes. Okay. So Jay. So you guys are getting, so because I already have someone, Sister Faria already gave me an answer. So is mul wa la di. So the only issue is with the last harakat. What did I say? What does it get? It gets a kasra. Okay. Three rules you have to know. Believe it or not, three rules. First one, uh, no alif lam. Think about indefinite, in the indefinite, like I'm just going to do the I, and no tanween. These are the first rule. Okay, check. The second one is what? Kasra. Right now I cannot make any simpler than that. And this one I told you is not 100%, but it helpful in the beginning. Usually definite, which is mean usually will be definite, right? Okay. Let's do one more. So first of all, the first one is fine. Is the first one is fine. First word. Remember, no alif lam, no tanween. First one is fine, right? Because I don't have any alif lam and I don't have tanween. The second one is always kasra. Does it have kasra? No. It has a dhamma. So you gotta fix that one. As-sayyarati. Okay. Looks like, okay, so this so far is fine. You guys are getting it. It's two words. Inshallah, I'm going to go back to idafa and I'll quickly review them, okay? Okay, this is an interesting thing they're teaching you. I forgot to mention this in, okay, this is interesting. It's called nida, this ya. I don't know if I don't think I talked about this one. This is a ya for calling. For example, in English, we can actually call someone just by name. Muhammad, come here, you know? Amina, come here. You can just call somebody like that without, and it's not considered impolite also. It just, you know, that's it's fine. In English language, we can do this. In Arabic, we cannot. In Arabic, if you're calling someone, usually, you know, we're talking about the proper way of saying it, right? Usually you have to use the harf, this one, yeah. You have to use this term, ya Muhammad. Okay, ya Muhammad. You have to use ya Amina. Ya Amina. Okay, you understand? This is for calling. That's always a ya Rabb. Okay, we say, you understand? So we have to use that. This is called harf. You have to use this ya in order to call someone. But there's a little bit grammar rules that you have to be aware of. What is the grammar rule? Grammar rule is when you have the word like this, Muhammad, Muhammadun, right? Yes, the name is Muhammadun. It's not Muhammadan, Muhammadin, Muhammadu, Muhammada, Muhammadi. It's Muhammadun. We had this name many times, so we should understand it's Muhammadun. But when you say yeah, you have to lose the tanween. You have to lose the tanween. So you cannot say Ya Muhammadun. You have to say Ya Muhammadu. Okay. And for example, you have Waladun. What is Waladun? Waladun is a boy. When you call him, you cannot say Ya Waladun. That's not good. You have to say Ya Waladu. Yes, you understand? So this is another time when you have to lose the tanween. So some names, remember we talked about Amina. Amina. Is it Aminatun? Guys, is it Aminatun or something else? We talked about this rule, right? The name of female proper names, what? Yes, we cannot have tanween on the female. Yes, so you guys remember this. That's good. The name of proper female name cannot have tanween. So it's always going to be two. So now you add ya, well, nothing changed. Okay, it's not like you keep on removing dhamma. So you had two dhamma, you removed one. You have one dhamma, you remove. So it's not like dhamma crossing game. It's just that it cannot take tanwin. That's the rule. Okay, so if it didn't have tanwin in the beginning, okay, great. So you just leave with one dhamma. So what is the rule? The rule number one, you have to know. Inshallah, when I go back to my notes, when I'm start going back to the grammar, I will talk about this. Yeah, I just didn't know that this was in this chapter. So the rule is when you have ya, you cannot have dhamma. In the basic, there's a lot of rule about the ya. Okay, so we're talking about the basic one. The basic one is when you have when you're calling someone, ya Muhammad, ya Abbas, ya Ali, you have to use it with dhamma. You cannot say Abbasun. No, ya Abbasu, ya Khalidu, ya Waladu. Okay, ya Bintu. You cannot say ya bintin, ya bintun, ya waladun. That's not good. So remember, after ya, there is no tanwin. So for example, here you have to say ya aliyu. Okay. This one is ya abbasu. Third. What do you mean the third? This one? Yes. Here it will shaykhun. This will be shaykhun because there is no what? Shaykhun. There is no. Yeah, it just sheikh. Sheikh has two meaning. It could be old person. Okay, old person, or it can be referred as someone scholar. Okay. Old means like elder person, elder respected person. Okay, so shaykhun, here I'm saying shaykhun, but now I'm calling the sheikh. I cannot say ya shaykhun anymore. I have to say ya shaykhu. Yes, you understand? What did we say? How do you say man? How do you say man? Huh? Raju rajulun, rajulun, tanwin. Amen. Now I'm calling this man. I see a man outside. I call. Do I say ya rajulun? Because that's what we learn. Ya rajulun? No. When you use ya, you say ya rajulu. Okay. Here ya sirun. By the way, this don't get confused here, because this ya looks like it's calling, right? But it's part of his name. Subhanallah. It's weird. So it's part of his name, Yasir. So Yasirun. But if you call him Ya Yasir, okay, then you have to say Amma. Good? Yes. So okay, let's see how good you guys got it. So oh yeah, can you let me know what goes here? Do you know how to read this? You should know how to read this. Yes, but I need to know what goes here. You're right, but yes, that's the thing. Why? Because you have ya. And as soon as you remove ya, okay, then you have say ammarun. Okay, so we have doktor. Doktor. Doktor is the same thing as tabib, right? We have a tabib, tabibun, inshallah. So okay, so doktorun, okay, same thing. Yeah, doktoru. Okay, so the rule is pretty simple, and you will see a lot of time. Just remember, inshallah, I'm gonna put that in my notes so you can go through them later. The rule is after ya, no tanween. After ya, no tanween. Okay, good. Jayed. I actually want to go through. Let's see, what is it? Okay. So, did you guys do this one? I don't feel like doing this one. So it's saying, اقرأ مثال مثل مكون الأسئلة مثل مشير إلى sorry كتاب. Okay, so basically you, for example, here you have a book and it's saying كتاب من. What they're trying to show you that this is also what do you think this phrase is? كتاب من. First of all, just look at this word kitab. As soon as you see this kitab, what rings in your mind? Kitabu? What do you mean kitabu? It should be kitabun. or al-kitabu, but you're seeing kitabu explicitly saying mudaf, exactly. So as soon as you say, that means you know this is part of idafa. So if it's part of idafa, next one has to be the second part of idafa, the mudaf ilay. So that means what? The translation becomes much easier now. As soon as you understand, if you don't understand, you cannot translate this. A book, who, this, you're saying a book, who is this? You cannot understand, you cannot translate this phrase. But as soon as you understand, oh, it's kitabu, so maybe the next word is mudaf ilay, that means the other part of the kitab, then you can translate the book of. Okay. I mean, I'm just going to write the way in English, book of who is this. I'm writing just very bad way, right? In English, you'll say whose, right? Remember, you say whose is the same thing as the other way writing. Yes, harf can be mudaf ilayh. But by the way, no, this is not actually harf. It's a good question, a little bit technical question. The man here is not actually harf. You know what man is? This man is actually noun, and this is khabar. This is a little bit advanced. Yes, this one is ism. Some man can be, but most of the man is actually ism. And this is not only ism, this is will be khabar, meaning predicate. So for example, how do you know, this is a little bit advanced topic, you guys don't have to know, I'm just letting Sister Farha know if she's interested, curious. So because how do you know whether this is subject or predicate? Because what would be the answer? Look at the answer. If somebody asks you whose kitab was this, how would you gonna say? You're gonna say hada kitabu Muhammad. So your hada is subject, and this would be predicate, because we already have the, guys, don't worry. But the answer to your simple question is that yes, this is not harf, this is still ism. Kitabu man, who, because who will answer a noun. Jade. So book of who is this? So you can say whose book is this. You can have a better translation, but in the beginning I am keep on telling you translate word for word. Don't worry about English grammar right now. As long as you understand what is the Arabic is trying to tell you. Okay, so you understand this is a idafa, book of who. Okay, so you can do the same thing. Qalamu man hada. Okay, qamisu man hada, baytu man hada. It's basically asking you, teaching you how to ask about whose this one belongs to. Because for example, you look at this pen. You want to know whose pen is this. Now, how would you answer ask this question? Okay, you say qalamu. Are you gonna say qalamun man hada? That's what they're trying to teach you. This is, you cannot say after qalamu man, because this is idafa. Qalamu man, kitabu man. Yes. So you say so you want to say how this book is mine. Oh, we're gonna learn this one in, I think, I don't know what chapter is that. Kitabi. So this is, believe it or not, the Kitabi. Because you asked me, but we're gonna study this one nicely. We're gonna have a long chapter. I think there's 3 or 4 chapters talking about this. The pronouns and attached pronoun. So in English we can say book of mine, right? Book of mine. Oh, sorry, I'm keep on writing F here. Book of mine, right? You see the of. When I say of, every time you see something like that, this is going to be idafa, right? So let's structure. How would you book of Muhammad? Book of Muhammad. Why am I writing English here? Book of Muhammad. Because it's going to be the same thing. So you're saying kitabu, right? Kitabu Muhammadin. Kitabu Muhammadin. Din. You're right, but it's not di, it's going to be din, because you cannot, the not having tanween rule is for the first one. This is the initially idafa, that's the one really gets into people, and I'm pretty sure we all going to be going through this one, which is like sometimes we don't know which rule belongs to which one, right? Because you have 2 words, because you keep on hearing cannot have tanween, but you get confused. Is it the first one or the second one? cannot have tanween is for the first one. Okay, so original word had a, we're talking Muhammadun, the second word, there's no rule, so we have to put Muhammadin. Okay, so yes, don't worry, these things you'll get over them, inshallah. So now I want to say book of mine. Book of mine. Okay, so everything is same except I have to know how to say mine. Inshallah, we're going to talk about this one. So kitabu remains same, and the mine in Arabic is ya. Okay, so now ya is a harf, it cannot stand by itself, so you have to attach. So you say kitabi. That's why I say ya Rabbi. This ya is my Lord. Okay, inshallah, we will have lots of fun with these pronouns. Is coming, inshallah. But good question. Date. Okay, so do the rest of them, inshallah. Okay, it's not that complicated. Now, I want to talk about next topic. I'll just do a few of them from here, maybe one of them. So name. So what is ismun? Ismun is name, right? Name. So he's saying, how would you translate this one? Ismu wala di. How would you translate this? Ismu wala di. Just this part. How do you translate this? The name of the boy. Boy, right? So the name of the boy is what? Muhammad. So they're showing you another type of sentence. You say, Ismu waladi Muhammadun wasmul binti Zainabu. So the name of the the name of the boy is Muhammad, and the name of the girl is Zainab. So the name, because for example, you say this is kind of similar to how it is my name, but they're not showing you teaching you my name, because these are pronouns. Inshallah, they will be coming. The house of the man. How do you say the house of the man? Baitu, right? Baitur rajul. Yeah, baitur rajuli, yes. Rajuli, good. Now I want to say something about this, because it's not a sentence. I want to make it a sentence. Bait of the man is far. Do you guys remember how to say far? Who remembers how to say far? Oh, you guys have to keep up with you have to keep up with your vocabulary, right? Ba'id. We had this one in this class, right? Yes, I think so. I think we had this one. Yes, that's baitu rajuli ar-rajuli ba'idun. Yes, in the first class, subhanallah. Ba'idun. Okay, so this is how you make a sentence with idafa, because you can say the house is far, so you say al-baytu ba'id. Okay, ba'idun, the house is far, right? Al-baytu ba'idun means house is far. But you want to say house of somebody is far. It's not a big deal. You just replace this one with the idafa. Looks like it's oh my goodness, it's something else we're learning here. You're not learning something else. For example, I already know how to say the pen is broken. Al qalamu maksurun. We know how to do this one, right? Al qalamu maksurun. The pen is broken. But now I don't want to say the pen. I want to say the pen of the boy. See, this whole thing is the same thing. I'm just replacing the pen and I'm specifying which pen, the pen of the boy. So that means only thing you have to change is this one. Maksurun remains the same. So instead of saying al-qalamu, you're going to say qalamu what? Yes. You good. That's good. Al-qalamu al-waladi. You get it? So only thing they're trying to show you here, because if you just look at it like this, you think, oh my God, here comes another rule. Here, honestly, it's not the rule. You're just replacing any other noun, definite noun with this noun. Okay? So you just have to know how to replace. And once you replace it, it's very simple. You know, everything else is same. So what is ibn? Ibnun is what? We said son. So how do you say, did we do this word tawil? What am I writing? No, we didn't do tawil. Okay, that's fine. What about this one? Saghir? Saghir, I'm pretty sure with this one. Saghirun? Yes, Saghir is small. So I can say al-waladu saghirun. What is al-waladu saghirun means? Al-waladu saghirun. No, al-waladu, close, al-waladu saghirun. So first one is definite, second one is indefinite. So it, yeah, so if I say, you'd be right, Sister Uzma, if I say waladun saghirun. If I say waladun saghirun, you see, this one is indefinite, this is also indefinite. Then yes, a little boy or small boy, that's fine. Little boy is fine. But now I'm saying al-waladu, al-waladu. So that means the first one is definite and the second one is indefinite. Al-waladu saghirun, that means the boy is small. Okay. Now, how would you say, maybe I wanted to say, the son, anyway, it doesn't matter. So how would you say, I want you to, instead of saying the boy, I want you to say the son of the sheikh. Okay, that's interesting. The son of the sheikh. We just learned how to say sheikh. Sheikh is sheikh. So it's an easy word to memorize, right? SubhanAllah, don't you wish all of the words were like that? It's just sheikh. So the son of the sheikh is small. So how would you say it? Ibnu Sheikhi, yes. So you replace this one with Ibnu. Maybe I need more space, right? Subhanallah. Yes. Mine. Ibnu Ash-Shaykhi. Yes, exactly. So basically, we're just replacing one definite noun with another noun. So they're just showing you can be a little bit more specific. Just instead of saying the daughter is, the daughter is near, whatever words we know, and you can say the daughter of the man is near. Okay, you understand? So what I go through this one more time, and if you have any question, this is a similar thing. Translate them, put the harakat. Guys, don't ignore this one because this one is pretty much, the whole summary of this whole chapter. So if you can do this one and translate it and know where the harakat goes, don't worry about anything else. Trust me, if you can, because these things will keep on coming and you will be reviewing this concept a lot. I told you, idafa you cannot get away with. Some of the things in Arabic we learn once and then we forget because it never shows up, but idafa is not one of them. Idafa will be getting a lot, but at least if you can translate and put the harakat, then you are in good shape. For example, I see, I'll do one. I say, what? You're looking at it. Number two. You want the number two? Okay, let's do this one. Two. Okay, let's do number two. You say number two first. So kharaja is, we had this word before. What is kharaja? Who remembers about kharaja? A few things I want to know about the word kharaja. What is kharaja? Kharaja is a verb. We only had two verbs, guys. So, you should be happy that, because this book in the chapter, in a book one, he's not going to give you a lot of verbs, very few of them. Went out. Yes, went out. He meant went out. Yes. Verb means went out. So, and remember, yes. And now you say ibnu, because why? I see, look at this, interesting. Remember I told you, if you never understood this concept, I plus I always tell you this one because it's a very simple thing and it's not really 100% bulletproof. I keep on reminding you, but believe it or not, this will help you look at this in situation to identify what to do with these words. If it's D plus I, it means one thing, but here you have to think about, we learned another concept, which is I plus D. So you're looking at these two words. The first one looks like indefinite. As soon as you see indefinite, the next one looks like definite. As soon as you see something like that, your brain has to be thinking about what? Idafa. Otherwise, when I come here, I don't know what to put. Should I put ibnun because it's indefinite? Ibnun, kharaja ibnun, the son, a son went out. Okay, so that's good. I'm explaining to you right now. That's a good question, and that's why you have to know, you have to have these sharp eyes to catch the two words. When you have two nouns side by side, you have to understand them from definite, indefinite perspective. In the beginning level, guys, it will help you tremendously, because this is not the case all the time. But in the beginning, especially in this book, this will be the game. You have first word is indefinite, second word is definite. As soon as you see something like that, it will be an idafa. Okay, so good question. Why bintu? Because I wanted to say bintun. Sorry, I might say bint ibn. What am I saying? Why ibnu? It should be ibnun. Ibnun means a boy or a son. So the son went out, should have been fine. But now why I can't? Because I'm looking at the second word and I see a definite, and I'm thinking this is part of idafa. He's not talking about any son. He's talking about the son of something. Son of who? Son of al-tabib. Okay, so now I cannot, because I know the first part of this is going to be idafa. So in the first part, I cannot put tanwin anymore. So I'm stuck with dhamma. Okay, ibnu at-tabi. Now I know my rules about idafa, right? The second part is always kasra. Ibnu tabibi. Now I know who's going on. The son of the doctor went out. Okay, so just this part I already have my, I understand what's going on. Okay, but what's the next one? It says, should it be man? Think about it, because we know two words that looks like here. The next word is, well, bait. So it's not going to be man, it's going to be min. Minal bay. What goes here? By two? Huh? I want to put two because that's what we learned. You have alif lam. Now I can say two and I say two. But what is another rule? What we learned? We have a mean. That's why we have to put the. See, that's why I'm saying, all of this rule will be coming together when you study, when you do this exercise. And that's why if you are not reviewing them, the book, I like this book because it's pushing you with the older concept. The mean is coming from the last chapter, right? And then if we keep on moving, and then you will be overwhelmed. You'll be like, my goodness, this Arabic grammar thing it's not for me. Okay, if Allah told you, if in the Quran Allah said this is easy, He made Arabic language, He chose Arabic language for easy. So, and He's talking about everybody. So we cannot make this claim that it's not for me. Then Allah is not being fair with us, right? It's for somebody, it's not for somebody else. So it's just that there's a technique we have to do the right way. Okay, yes, it is like math, exactly. So initially, if you have those rules, forget about the exception things. If you have the rules, if you put this rule, it's just math, exactly, one after another. You do this, yes. And especially when you go to verb, it's nothing but math. Everything has formula. Okay, so where's the one of the, went out the son of the doctor from the house. The son of the doctor went out from the house, yes. That's the answer. The second one, second sentence is the correct one. The son of the doctor went out from the house. Yes, everything is fine. Excellent. Okay, so I want you guys because yes, that's a, we will learn about verbs. In English, verb is always after the subject. So right, but in Arabic, the verb can be in the beginning, verb can be in the middle, verb, you know, verb can move around. Okay, so by default, verb comes first in English. In Arabic language, we say the verb first. Okay, so don't worry about this one. The rules, I'm not going to explain it, but yeah, the verb comes first. It doesn't change the grammar from the sentence. It has a different, very slight technical differences. For example, if you say this one first, your translation would be same thing. You could say Ibnu Tabibi kharaja min al bayti. You could say that. You can say this one first. You can say Ibnu Tabibi kharaja min al bayti. The meaning will be exactly same. What you wrote. Who did? Yeah, I think you wrote it. Okay. The son of the doctor went outside. But then it has a different implication. Then it's not a verbal sentence anymore. It's a nominative sentence, and a little bit tiny minor differences. It's not much, but you can say that as well. But in Arabic, the verb usually comes first. No, Arab. How if you change Arab, that means you're changing the meaning. Arab is the whole thing about meaning. You change the meaning. You put fatah here. It's gonna mean something else. So you still have to put dhamma. The Arab cannot change here. Changing Arab means you're changing the whole meaning, context. So we're not playing with the Arab yet. Okay, we just have to know what to put. Just we're being forced to put something. Okay. Very cool. So yeah, just another thing is like in the beginning, like we want to use the Arabic structure, but I like the, you know, it's okay. The book is giving you the verb first, so it's good. It's pushing you to think like an Arab, because in Arabic, the verbal sentence we use the verb first. So for example, the second one, ذهب, it's a he went. It's a past tense. Okay, so I don't want to do this one. I think you guys should, guys, if you guys can do this, I would did one of them. You have 5 of them. Any problem you have, you can bring them up. We can spend a little bit time talking about, because this one wraps up, summarizes a lot of things. Not only this chapter, some of the previous chapters as well. Okay, you have to know how to read them, where to put the harakat. See here, I told you another thing I like about this book. Even if he introduced any new word, the book will put the harakat. Muhandis, we never had this word before. And for the first time he's giving you, that's why he's putting every single vowels, even the grammar. Okay, Rajul, he's not gonna put anything. We've seen this word so many times. He, Mas'ud, okay. He sometimes gives you even new words in the middle, right? Subhanallah. Okay, so please uh, try to do this one. But this is just a name. It's a name, okay? So you see, even the name he will put the harakat. Jayid. I'm not going through the vocabulary words, because I think I give you the vocabulary for this book anyway. So all of this meaning should be there unless you ask me anything. Okay, good. Remember I explained to you huna, and also you can learn huna, hunak, and huna is here, and hunak is there. Good. Any question? Because I have next I have like what 20-25 minutes. I want to talk about the next chapter. You guys have any question? So remember what we talked about. We already know this mudaf. The first part is called mudaf. Second part is mudaf ilay. Okay. Try to memorize these terms. In this stage, I don't mind if you guys don't memorize the term, but if you if you should get used to some of these terms anyway. Okay. Mudaf, mudaf ilay. So what is the rule of mudaf? Maybe this is a good place to. Rule of mudaf is no tanween, no alif lam, basically indefinite in form. Okay, whatever that means. Okay, you understand? And here the rule is kasra. I'm giving a very, very simple simple rule so that it doesn't overburden you, which means you can think of genitive, genitive case, because this kind of term, the book is not using it yet. So I don't want to use it, but if you understand what we talked about last time, and inshallah next time, there will be another time we'll be talking about that as well. Right now, for the practical purpose, think about the kasra, okay? And usually definite. Another issue that sometimes people will say no alif lam. The no alif lam issue is doesn't work with me, because, for example, you have hada. Hada, the word doesn't have alif lam. So if you say hada al bayti, so is this idafa? He said no alif lam, so I didn't put any. This word doesn't have alif lam. Muhammad doesn't have alif lam. Okay, so instead of Muhammadun, I say Muhammadu al bayti. Does it make it idafa? Let's see. If I don't write this thing, a lot of books says that, but I understand why they say it, but it doesn't work with me, because if I say no tanwin, okay, it was Muhammadun. Instead of Muhammadun, I say Muhammadu. No alif lam. Well, I don't have any alif lam here. And the next one is genitive. Okay, I get my genitive. Usually definite. Okay, it's definite. Is this idafa? Of course not. Okay, the Muhammad of the, it's not gonna work. So that's why I like to use this concept that's indefinite. Although the meaning will be definite, but it's just because you cannot have any proper name, any kind of definite word. You cannot have the first. The first word cannot have any kind of definite words that we know, which is pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, proper names, and of course alif lam. Okay, so that's why I prefer using the terms indefinite. The first one is indefinite and the second one is definite. So it also helps you visualize it. Okay, makes it clear? You guys understand? Jade. So I'm keep on reminding you that this book, and for the first part of our Arabic study life, it will be all revolving around ism, which is what? Noun. And I told you the ism also has another meaning, which is name. Okay, it has another meaning, which is name. And the last times we talked about that ism has a lot of characteristics. Okay, two of the characteristics we talked about them already. I'm not going to spend too much time, which is definite. I'll just write definite or indefinite. Next week, inshallah, we'll review all of them because of the quiz. Okay, so we said the noun has to be. When we say attribute, characteristic, that means it needs this information. We need that information. Okay, so every noun must be either definite or indefinite. We already talked about this one, right? Yes. And inshallah, next week we're going to review. I don't want to review here right now because I want to bring this new concept so that next week we can continue and wrap up everything. And noun also has to be one of these, which is gender. Every noun must have a gender, which is really not the case with English. This is one of the places, definite and indefinite, it's pretty much in every language we have this concept, right? Every language. But in Arabic, the definite indefinite plays a big role in grammar, in different ways. We just learned a few of them, right? So second attribute is noun has 4 attributes. Okay, so we're doing the second attribute. The first attributes were definiteness. This is the first attribute, which tells you whether the noun is definite or indefinite. And the second one is the gender, that what we will be talking about today, inshallah. So when we say gender in Arabic, there are only 2 genders, okay? Masculine and feminine. Okay, I'm going to quickly go through them. And to make things easier, we like to think that every word is masculine by default, just like what we did with the noun. Remember, we said every noun we like to think is indefinite. What am I saying? Default, right? So it makes it very easier. For example, if we say this one, every noun is indefinite and every noun is masculine. So you look at any word, for example, you look at walad, waladun. in your brain, first thing you should be thinking the default. Okay, so it has to be indefinite and it should be a masculine. Okay, remember, and we said in order for someone to prove that it's definite, you have to, you know, go through all those proofs, alif lam, and all of these things, right? So same thing. Okay, it just makes our life a little bit easier. And that's what we've been seeing for the last chapter, from chapter 1 to chapter 5. Most of the word, if like 95% of the words we've seen is what? Masculine. So now from the going forward, we'll be seeing a lot of feminine words. So in feminine, there are two, this book doesn't teach you too many things about feminine, but you know, only two concepts you have to know, understand about feminine words is that one is real female person. You know, this is, of course, you know, you have a female person, then of course it is feminine, which is like case for every language. This is something female, it's a feminine. Like for example, ummun is mother. Of course, it's going to be feminine. There's no question about that, right? We have bint, bintun. Is bintun masculine? Of course not. It's a daughter or a girl. So it will be what? Feminine. You understand? So for example, you know, you have a friend, Amina. Okay, Amina. It's going to be what? Feminine, right? Of course. And then let's say you have a friend, her name is Zainab. By the way, quick review of the rules. Amina tu. It's never going to be Amina tun. Zainabu. It's not going to be Zainabun. Why? Because these are feminine names. See, this kind of rules, I'll try to mention them whenever I can. So it's, you know, just a good review for you. So this part is clear. Here's nothing new, right? We understand even every language has this concept, masculine and feminine. We understand it. So we know, you know, some person is female, it's a feminine. Jayid. But where the things becomes a little bit interesting is that in Arabic language, any arbitrary items, thing can also be feminine. Okay? That's kind of weird. For example, we have a, how do you say bag in Arabic? Haqiba. Haqibatun. Bag in Arabic, we say haqibatun. But this word in Arabic language considered what? Feminine. Same thing goes for, how do you say car in Arabic? Sayyaratun. Don't worry, the words you will get if you cannot read my handwriting. Sayyaratun is what? A car. In Arabic language, it's considered feminine. I'll give you one more. Maktabatun. Maktabatun means library. In Arabic, we consider it's feminine. Now, these are the weird things that if somebody's coming from pure English language, they find it weird. Because in English, we'll consider them as it, like, you know, something neither feminine or masculine, right? But in Arabic, we don't have such a thing as it. There's no it, either masculine or feminine. Okay, so just by looking at these things, one thing, what do you think is the common, what's going on, what do they have in common is all of them has ta marbuta, right, at the end. So this is your first common rule. That's another color. Words ending in ta marbuta is considered feminine. Feminine, okay? So this is where it's a little bit different, okay? Yes. So look, this part everybody understand, no problem. We understand female person. We look at this person, we don't even know their name, but it's a female, it's feminine, no problem, right? This is just normal thing, everybody understand. But the issue is in Arabic language, As I said, that any arbitrary items, things can also be feminine. And this feminine is not actual feminine. This is a linguistic feminine, meaning the word is feminine, not the content. The car is not feminine. The word car is feminine. So if you understand this much, it will be much easier for you to understand what we're talking about. Okay. So basically, the word car, the word car is feminine. Okay, not the car itself. I'm writing it so that you guys understand this concept. Okay. So when we're talking the car is feminine, we're just talking about this word, because when we use this word in Arabic, we have to know whether it's masculine or feminine. Otherwise, we cannot use this word in a sentence. Simple as that. If you don't understand the masculine and feminine, you cannot use any word in Arabic language. You cannot use it. You can just simply say the word. You cannot use it in a sentence, because as soon as you put it in the sentence, the grammar will completely change based on, completely is a strong statement, it will change based on whether the noun is masculine or feminine. Now, it will have an effect of the next word. It will have an effect of its adjective. It will have an effect also about the verb you're using. You're going to be using one verb for masculine word and one verb for feminine word. Okay, so that means we have to identify whether or not a noun is, or the word is masculine or feminine. Okay, so just a few things, and I just want to point out this one. This is not 100%. Okay, this is, I'll just put 99% of the time. It's not, okay, 99% of the time. Right now, if you think that's the case, just 100%, I don't have a problem with this, because the exception you're going to get much later. Okay. So far, there are a lot of more rules. For example, other books gives you a lot of more rules, but these books right now, these are the two good rules you need to know, and that's fine. Okay, number one, if you know the person is feminine, female person, that's feminine. All is common sense. Second one is that if the word ends in ta marbuta, 99% of the chance, or just for us right now, it is considered as a feminine word. Okay, makes sense? Very simple, right? You just look at, for example, you have two words. You have Jamil and you have Jamila. Jamila. Both of them means beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful means exactly same thing. So what's the difference? Huh? What's the difference between these two words? Yes, and how do you know the gender is different? What is ending, and which is what? The tamarbuta. Nice, okay. Yes, so if you have a tamarbuta, you look at this one initially is like, you think about, there's no way this is masculine, because there's not. Just look for tamarbuta. If you know the person's name, like as I said, there's going to be few words that doesn't have tamarbuta, right? But it's still feminine, because mother, bint, okay, and there are a few others, okay, then they're feminine. But if you're looking at any arbitrary word, just look at, if it has a tamarbuta, you can consider it as, if you have tamarbuta, you can consider as feminine. If it doesn't have tamarbuta, it is masculine. Right? Makes sense? So the big deal is the tamarbuta. This is one of the, it's really not, I wish it was a golden rule. It's not, but it's still one of the best rule for identifying masculine and feminine. So if it has a tamarbuta, it's feminine. If it doesn't, it's masculine. What is the question? So we can have gender of agents. Yes, in this book, we haven't done the adjective yet. So adjective is going to come a little bit later. So I don't want to bring, yes, you're right. But the other book, of course, we've been dealing with adjective from the day one, right? Just different book, teaching different way. One more thing this book will teach you, I'm pretty sure, so I have to tell you, there's one more kind of adjectives out there, which is one of the weird one. It's when you have body parts in pair. I think this book will give you some of these things. That's why I'm mentioning them. When you have a body parts in pair, then they are considered feminine. Give me a body part in pairs in English, so I can translate them. What do you think? Eyes. So if you say eyes, then guess what? Ain, ainun, it will be considered feminine. It doesn't have tamarbuta? No. But it is still, from the grammar perspective, considered feminine. Why? We don't have, there's no way we have a time machine to go back and ask them, why did you do that? Because that's how Arabs dealt with them. Okay, there's a lot of logics behind, all those theories. We don't have time for that, right? Okay, so for example, hands, yad, yadun is also. But what about nose? Huh? Do you think nose, anf, is nose masculine or feminine? Masculine, exactly. You understand? So this concept, this one, I'm not too worried about that. This is like very exception. We're gonna find this thing once in a while shows up, but as long as it's in your mind, as long as it's in your mind, that's fine. I'm not too much worried about, but right now, if you can swallow this much, which is simple, and extremely easy to memorize, you have a tamarbuta, the word is feminine. If it doesn't have tamarbuta, word is masculine. And if you're wrong, okay, fine, we figure out. But the 99% of the time, you will be right. So why not pay attention to this one, right? This whole other body pairs business, these things are like very rare, but it's there. You have to know it. But right now, inshallah, I'm not too worried about that. The main thing to take away is that what? Tamarbuta, feminine, no tamarbuta, masculine. So it makes our life much, much easier, doesn't it, right? So I'm just, I don't have time to, maybe the other one, I will, I have my 5 minutes. I just want to show you something. Makes it clear. So by default, we say everything is masculine, but feminine. Okay, if we know the person is feminine, her name is Huda. Some people's name, some girl's name is Huda, right? Huda. There's no tamarbuta. So you cannot start crying. Oh my goodness, Huda, you are actually, you're a male person. She will be like going upset and you lose your friend. No, because the rule is if it's a female person, it is considered feminine anyway. So you have exception to this one. The first is the main feminine. In Arabic, it's called haqiqi, which is the actual feminine. This is the actual feminine because if the person is feminine, it's feminine. But the other one is only for the grammar. Okay, we have to know how to deal with them. So if it's tamarbuta, it's feminine. Okay, makes sense. I'll just want to give you one more information. Remember the word that we learned. Just quickly demonstrative pronouns, right? By the way, the homework is not from this new chapter. Homework is still you are doing the chapter 5, okay? Because okay, so it's fine. You don't have to go through the chapter 6 right now because this is coming from chapter 6. So we learned 2 demonstrative pronouns, right? So now because we learned what hada and dhalika, right? Remember these 2 words? Oh, guys, you cannot forget these words. Okay, these are every corner in the Quran, right? So now what we can do, instead of saying hada and hadihi, we can divide them into gender, masculine and feminine. So the masculine we learn hada, and then it can go into, I can do it for you if you like visual like me, something that is close, something that is far, something that is close. Everything has Arabic term, guys. I don't want to write the Arabic terms to, well, these words actually, close is what? Qareeb. Close is qareeb. Qareebun. Far is ba'idun. We just had this word. Ba'idun, right? Same thing. Qareeb. Ba'id. Okay. Now, something that is close in masculine, what do we say? In English, we say this. Okay, in English we say that for something that is far. It is simple. We understand that, right? We do the same thing with English. You're not going to look at something far, far away and say this is a star. I mean, it's wrong in the grammatical perspective, right? So same thing we have in Arabic. This. So what was the word for this in masculine? The one that we learned was hada, and for the far one we say ذلك. Okay, ذلك هذا. Now we have to learn how to say even. See, that's what I'm saying. If you don't understand the word is masculine or feminine, if you just open your mouth, you're going to make a mistake. Simple as that. You want to say this is a bag, and you learn hada. So you're coming in and saying hada haqibatun. Then it's a problem. Why? Why is a problem? I told you haqibatun has a ta marbuta. You know the words, you learn studies, you have everything, but still you're making grammar mistakes. Because haqibatun is feminine words, you cannot say hada anymore. You have to say hadihi. Hadihi. And just like this hada, where there's a small hidden alif, you also have this small hidden alif here. So it's not, you're not going to say hadihi. You have to say hadihi. These are new words you have to memorize. Of course, these are words you have to completely memorize. There's no, there's no other way. And for, how do you say far for the feminine? You say tilka. So ذلك was for masculine, tilka is for feminine. These two words you just have to memorize, but you have to know which one is for close. هذه is for close, and tilka is for far. Okay. For example, you look at outside and there's a car far, far away, and you will say tilka sayyaratun. Why you're saying tilka instead of dhalika? Because the word that we learned for car has ta marbuta. I'm just giving you concept right now, guys. We'll have plenty of time to do exercise, okay? Just the concept. So, don't get too overwhelmed, but at least from today's class, my time is up, but today's class, this much has to be in your brain. Two things has to be in your brain. Number one, the ta marbuta means feminine. You tell your friends or family, look at their bag, and you'll tell them that this bag is feminine. Make their mind go crazy, right? Because so and this is the one concept you learn. So if it has ta marbuta, it will be feminine. Another two things you have to memorize is hadihi and tilka. Hadihi is for this, and tilka is for that. And interestingly, this word is in chapter 6, and they will teach you this one is chapter 7. And I told you, just like what we did the first time, I'm not going to teach them separately. I'm going to teach them together because it doesn't make sense for me, right? Exactly. That's the only thing they will teach you. Chapter 6, they will teach you about hadihi, of course, and all the feminine issue, the concept. And then chapter 7, they will just bring tilka. Okay, so we're learning chapter 6 and 7 together. Okay, that's why the quiz will be up until chapter 7. There's nothing new grammar perspective. Okay, we'll just have to go through the exercise. Okay, any questions? Guys, this part is, don't think, if you think it's, oh my goodness, complicated, it will be complicated. This part, I want you to think to yourself and tell yourself, oh, that's easy. If there's ta marbuta, it's feminine. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it's kind of weird that you have to think it's feminine, the bag is feminine, the car is feminine, the library is feminine, but at least it's easy because I see a ta marbuta, well, guess what? It's going to be feminine. Okay, and how to use those feminine, I will talk about that later. And then 2 more words you have to know by today, which is hadihi and tilka. Okay, because we learned hada, this for masculine, and we say hadihi for feminine. Hada waladun. Hada waladun. This is a boy. Hadihi bintun. This is a girl. Okay. Dhalika maktabun. That is a desk. Tilka maktabatun. That is a library. Okay, so these things keep in your mind, inshallah, and we'll spend a lot of time next week. And next week will also be a review for the quiz after, because as soon as we're done with chapter 1 to 7, we pretty much learn a lot about this is like one package of information. So I like to group them. So this is the first group. Second group, because after that we'll start moving into adjectives, and then sooner or later we're going to be start talking about pronouns. So let's make sure we understand this concept that we learned from chapter 1 to chapter 7 first before we move on. Okay, any questions?